Now at 5, a delivery driver is arrested accused of spraying an order with pepper spray.
Have you heard about this story? It's gotten a lot of play.
Yeah, it has.
This incident, it was all caught on camera. Micah Knoll spoke with the couple who placed that order.
What's up, everybody? Before we get into this story, I want to introduce you to this fool of a delivery driver, Courtney Stevenson. She decided she wanted to pepper spray somebody's food because they didn't leave a big enough tip. Not only did you pepper spray somebody's food, but you ruined your life. You're possibly facing up to 17 years in prison for probably the dumbest decision that you've ever made. But let's get into it.
A typical night for Mark and Mandy Cardin turns sour. A delivery driver bringing their food sprays it with an unknown liquid and is caught on camera. The couple only realized something was wrong after taking a bite.
Wife went into the door and got the food and brought it into the house, and I still hadn't went into the kitchen. She was sitting there eating, and all of a sudden she started just coughing and like gasping, like she started choking, and then she threw up.
Dang, now that is crazy. Can you imagine just your typical night, about midnight, you and your wife decide you want to have a late night meal, decide to order DoorDash, and whenever it gets there, your wife starts choking and coughing and puking. You can only imagine what's going on. So you check your Ring doorbell camera and you see this woman pepper spraying your food for no apparent reason at the time. Now, before we get to her reason, which she does have a reason and it is not a good one, let's talk about the fact that I thought it was common sense that tampering with food or putting stuff in people's food that could potentially harm them or poison them was a pretty given that it was going to be a felony or at least some sort of crime that was punishable with time in jail. It's pretty common knowledge that that would be a thing, but not for Courtney. Now, let's listen to the Vanderburgh County Sheriff Noah Robinson explain how severe these crimes really are.
Vanderburgh County Sheriff Noah Robinson says tampering with food in this manner can be considered a level 5 felony.
It's possible to go to prison for this. Now, it depends on the criminal history of the individual involved, and so it's way too soon to be discussing what kind of outcome might be looking at. That might be something later on when it came to if a trial occurred or if a plea was in there to have that discussion. But nonetheless, tampering with somebody's food and deliberately adulterating it is a felony in the state of Indiana.
Now, as you can see, this crime is punishable by jail time if convicted, and if you've done stuff in the past that could, look bad on you. But that didn't just stop there. The husband of the couple, after everything had happened, tried to contact Courtney to see why she had done this, to try to piece together what the problem was, and she blocked him. She blocked his number. She then proceeded to return home to Kentucky where she lives, and that was where she was eventually arrested. But we haven't made it to that part yet, so let's keep diving into the story.
When Cardin tried to contact the driver, he says he was blocked. Cardin says he went to social media to warn others.
I know how powerful of a tool social media is, because you see people go viral for everything, and I don't want to be famous. This isn't about being famous. This is about protecting people, this should have never happened.
And you, sir, are correct. It should have never happened. That is a wild thing to do because you didn't get the tip you think you deserved. And I agree. Using social media to find out who did it, to put the word out there, to protect your family, I completely agree with it. You did the right thing. She's just so stupid to think that it was going to work and to think that she might possibly get away with it. Now, here's where things get real interesting, because after being arrested in Kentucky, she told detectives that the reason that she sprayed pepper spray on the bag is because there was a spider on the bag and she was trying to kill it, shoo it away. I don't know what she thought she was trying to do or why she even thought that detectives would believe it, but let's just hear what they have to say.
The driver has been identified as Courtney Stevenson. A news release from the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office goes on to say she told detectives she used pepper spray not on the food, but to spray a spider she said she saw while making the delivery. At that temperature, outdoor spiders in Indiana are not active and would not be capable of crawling on exposed surfaces. Stevenson is awaiting extradition to Indiana after getting arrested in Kentucky.
So, you see, even science says that she's wrong about a spider being there. Apparently, the temperature in Indiana right now is so cold that spiders can't even crawl, which it doesn't have to be that cold, only around 32 degrees, or 35. But still, the spiders aren't out right now. They're not crawling around. They're not moving around. And even if they were, that would have to be the fastest spider I've ever seen, because if it was on the bag, if you sprayed the bag with pepper spray, if you sprayed it at the bag, it would have to be around it. And I don't know any DoorDasher that really stands around and hangs out outside the house of a place they're dropping off food. So I really don't get it. I don't believe it. The detectives don't believe it. So, all in all, she's really going down shit creek. But after Courtney was arrested and information started to get brought together and things were compiled, the Vanderburgh County Sheriff Office, and more specifically Sheriff Noah Robinson, released a statement. Let's go over that statement and see what it has to say. So on December 12th, 2025, Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office, and more specifically Sheriff Noah Robinson, released a statement saying a Kentucky woman is now in custody on felony charges following an investigation into allegations that she sprayed a substance onto DoorDash customers' food, causing them to become sick. Courtney N. Stevenson was arrested by McCracken County Sheriff's Office in Kentucky on felony battery and consumer product tampering charges. On December 7th, one of the two victims contacted the sheriff's office. He reported that he and his wife had ordered food through DoorDash shortly after midnight. After eating the food, both experienced a burning sensation in their mouth, nose, throat, and stomachs. Both also began vomiting. They reviewed their doorbell camera and observed the DoorDasher place the food off camera on the porch and take a picture. She then sprayed a substance in the direction of the food from a small aerosol can that attached to her keychain. Detectives subpoenaed DoorDash records, which identified the dasher as Courtney Stevenson. Other investigative means corroborated her identity. Stevenson was found to be living in Kentucky near Paducah. She was contacted and agreed to an in-person interview. During the initial phone call, she told detectives that she had been in Evansville visiting her father and was working for DoorDash during her stay. She told detectives that she had used pepper spray, not on the food, but to spray a spider that she had saw while making the delivery. She explained that she is terrified of spiders. The overnight low was 35 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, outdoor spiders in Indiana are not active and would not be capable of crawling on exposed surfaces. Stevenson later called and said she was not going to come in for an interview as scheduled. Detectives prepared an arrest affidavit. A warrant for Stevenson's arrest was prepared and issued, charging Stevenson with 2 counts of battery, resulting in moderate injury as level 6 felonies, and 2 counts of consumer product tampering as level 5 felonies. Authorities in McCracken County, Kentucky, were contacted and arrested Stevenson this morning. She will be held without bond pending extradition to Indiana. Bond on the warrant has been set at $3,500. Sheriff Noah Robinson stated, "Residents should be able to trust that the food they order for their families is safe. When someone violates that trust and endangers others, we will respond with urgency and we will pursue charges. I want to commend our detectives and also thank the McCracken County Sheriff's Office and Vanderburgh County Prosecutor's Office for their assistance in making this arrest." The more I kept reading into this story and the more information I kept finding, it just kept getting crazier and crazier to me. How people just keep getting dumber and dumber with how they want to interact with other people. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and it seems like Courtney is going to win the stupidest prize of all, possibly 17 years in prison, all because a measly $2 tip. You could have just went home, went to bed, woke up the next day, and maybe you would have got another tip the next day that would have been $100, So in the long run, it seems like, she's made some bad choices. Another thing that I had found doing this research, I didn't find a lot about it. I'll post up a picture because she does look ratchet in this picture too. But apparently at some point before this interaction, she did get arrested on disorderly driving or dangerous driving and drinking and driving. So she kind of has a history of not making the right choices. So we'll see where she goes from here, and let's see where this trial goes. Thanks for joining, and like and subscribe. Appreciate you.